Hey, I'm finally back, everybody. Sorry for the delay. My youngest daughter is getting married, and she and her fiance have bought a house, and I've been busy with them trying to get them set up, get his stuff moved in, wedding plans. My life is basically a Jane Austen novel right now. I have a great appreciation for Mr. Bennet at the moment. So, back to the game. When we left off, we stumbled about in the dark and were detected by the enemy as we tried to move up and see their position. Fortunately, it is just a small force, and we've elected to fall back. So we need to, today, figure out what exactly we're facing and get set up so that we can play this particular fallback mission out over the span of probably this week. I can only afford to spend like an hour at a time. I just putter along. So, let's see here. First of all, the monkey's in my head. My wife says you probably don't know what I mean by that. There's an old Polish proverb that we quote at work. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Just to say it's not my problem. Well, this is my circus, and these are the monkeys that are running through my head, and you've inherited them by agreeing to come along, so these are your monkeys. And our monkeys have been talking to me again, and when I looked at trying to write a backstory for our soldiers, you can always throw little tidbits at me if you want me to fold things into the story, otherwise you're just along for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I noticed that two of our soldiers, our BAR man and our sniper, were the same age, and they were both from the same hometown, El Paso, and being in the same squad seemed rather suspicious. So, for our purposes, I'm saying that they are high school classmates and they signed up together, sticking together through the war. And then as I reflected upon that, I said to myself, if they did that, then perhaps they should be foxhole buddies because they're joined at the hip here. Now, I do this with a certain amount of trepidation. I mean, the upside is you get a few defensive bonuses in the game as foxhole buddies, but if one gets killed, there's a downside to that too. It's going to ding squad morale. And frankly, it's a little risky for me emotionally. I mean, I, for better or worse, kind of pour myself into the games while I'm playing. I become part of the narrative, and part of what I'm playing through a game, I put past experiences in, and this makes me think back to when I was a boy in the 1960s. I remember my dad, who didn't serve in the military, and I didn't serve in the military either, just FYI. But his high school best friend went off and served in Vietnam, and I remember when he got word that his friend had died in Vietnam and how that just crushed him. And I remember going some years later when I lived in Virginia and took him to the Vietnam Wall. So this kind of brings that back, and one of my wife's uncles served in Guadalcanal and Okinawa as a Marine with his classmates like this, and he actually had his classmates die in his arms. So, yeah. I don't do this lightly. Like I said, I'm not a vet, and I know that some of you are, and playing games like this is all fun and games, and you might even feel that I'm being a bit crass at times because I don't really have a right to talk about some of the things that you went through. And I know that not all of you served in combat, but some of you did, and I just have great respect for all of you guys. Regardless of how you served, I have friends who are everything from cooks in the Navy on boomers in the Cold War to majors in the Army who led tanks into battle in 73 Easting. I have relatives who've served in a lot of wars, and I've learned a lot of stories growing up with World War II vets. And I try to process all of these things kind of secondhand as I play games. I have a lot of great games, dozens and dozens. And they all bring me great pleasure, and sometimes they make me laugh, and sometimes they make me cuss, and sometimes they make me squirm in my seat. But this is the only game that's ever made me cry. Well, you didn't come here to listen to old man blather on. That's enough editorializing for today. We need to roll up our mission. And one of the first things we need to do is decide fallback. Are we going 1 or 2? With fallback, we roll a d6, 1 to 3. We play fallback 1, 4 to 6. It's fallback 2. And survey says it's 5. Fallback 2. All right. So far, so good. We're in the Siegfried line. We got to figure out what kind of map we're fighting on. So let me get to Siegfried here. Siegfried line. We got to pick our map. Let me get that back up. All right, that's enemy quality. Here's the map. We got to roll a d10 for a map. And survey says 8. And 8 is the ridge. Oh, we got elevation to deal with. So we're fallback 2 on the ridge map. And now the biggie. We know it's a small group. That's how many there are. We need to know their quality, how good they are. And we got to roll another d10. We get a 5. And a 5 is average quality. Whew, we got off lucky. We could have gotten machine guns. I hate those dang MG42s. Or we could have had the pastel bastards. Fortunately, we don't have either of those. We are just average quality, low, small size. That is doable, and we're on the ridge with fallback 2. So let me go here and let me pull up our patrol and let me actually tag these guys. So Cooper, our BAR man, is going to have a buddy, and his buddy is going to be the sniper, Geo. So Chicken Coop and Geo, they're buddies, and we're going to keep them together. We have 9 soldiers to bring over, plus our 10th, Sparky. I'm going to use a crew member for Sparky, and he's going to come along as just a potential target. He doesn't have any weapons. I mean, war correspondents are not supposed to fight. That's sort of against the Geneva Convention. And yet Hemingway, he found a way to get inveigled into the French resistance and actually did a bit of fighting. He got brought up on charges on that. Sparky is a little more circumspect, and his liver is not quite as strong as his either. Though he wouldn't turn down a shot of that Jameson, I think. Anyway, that said, we got our buddies there, and we should mark it on our sheet too so I don't forget. So here we go. We'll put a foxhole buddy here. We'll enter text. Geo, he gets Cooper, foxhole buddy, and Cooper's foxhole buddy. It's gonna be overback, so we can keep track of that. There we are, all official. My first foxhole buddies, really, and I've never had a sniper before on the friendly side. That'll be interesting. I experienced a little Java crash there as I was trying to bring up the other board. So I'm going to try that again. You didn't lose anything. We had already agreed on what we were doing here. Fallback to ridge map. Average quality, small size. So we're actually going to try to start that again. Scenario, new game. Got to be solo. There is no choice. And we take our ridge map. Okay, there's our ridge map coming up. Come on, Java, you can do it. There we go. Let's see if we can set some of this stuff. It is going to be heavy rain. It is nighttime. The ground is firm for now. We have to roll a 9 every time. I'm going to say our morale is okay. We're not playing a campaign game. We have no rerolls, and we have no must rerolls. The compass is in this orientation, and our wind direction is going to blow toward 4. So down. So there's our wind. There's our compass. See if I got everything moving with this panel now. Okay, that panel is set. So with fallback 2, our friendly edge is on the left edge, and they're going to come in on the right edge, and we're going to be able to set up. Where do we set up? Into the rules here. Fallback 2. We'll use default attacking event table. Enemy use default defending. They're going to be bold, alert, and prepared. We're going to be normal morale. Hand size of 3. Friendly edge is left. Friendly characters can set up in 22 to 24 between 6 and 13. 22, 24, 6, 8 to 13. 22, 8 to 24, 8 down to here 13 in these woods. And we're going to be withdrawing over the ridge and toward the end. The victory conditions are the usual: points for kills, captures, routing their units off the board. Not going to happen. And we get 1 point for exiting off the friendly edge. We have 9 characters, 10 technically, but I'm not counting Sparky toward victory. So we can get 9 points for just getting off the right edge of the board. 9 points would give us just scrape the win. We can just scrape the win without doing anything else. But if they get off our friendly edge, we lose points. For every one of them who gets off the friendly edge, we lose, I think it's 2. So we want to make sure they're not doing that. So the question is, do we want to make a stand anywhere? They're going to be coming in far over here to the right. Usually around, there are going to be 3 groups. Red and blue will be together, coming in at 34-4 to 34-13, way over here. And they can sprint this time. And there's not that much rough to stop them if they do. So they can sprint for now unless it turns to mud. And then when we get reinforcements, because there's a possibility of reinforcements on many turns, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they can get reinforcements, which is like a half dozen, about 5 people. And they would come in at 1, 6, 7, 8, no, that's fallback 1, 34 for red and blue. Yellow comes in at 10-1 to 14-1. Up here. And then white comes in at the bottom at 19-10 to 14. And they'll have arrows pointing up into this, so they're going to try to cut us off if they get reinforcements. So we need to bug out and not get caught by them. We have to see where they are, because we want to kind of stay in cover. And there's some trees to bop around through to diddly bop off the board here or here. Our first goal will be to move from our starting position to get over this ridge onto this plateau. There's going to be limited LOS for them to get at us. We'll decide, and then we'll bop off north or south, and may try to see if we can set up an ambush or not. We got our wind. We need to do our visibility. So what's visibility going to be like here? So for heavy rain, we do 2d6s. 5 and 5 is 10. And then for nighttime, it's 1d6 plus 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. So our visibility is going to be 5. We take the worst. So we'll set our visibility here to 5. Alright. So range of 0, 1 is going to be plus 2. Range of 2 to 3 is plus 1. 3, 4 and 5 is a 0. For almost all of our weapons. Let's see here. Yeah. So far, so good. I'm going to need to get set up for their characters. And for average quality, I just take everything from 3 to 15. No machine guns. And we got 3 cups this time. So let's do them first. Enemy. 3 to 15, blue, goes into cup A. And these guys, and 15, and 5 dummies, always 5 dummies. And red goes into cup A, 3 to 15. Those guys, and 15, and that guy, and 5 dummies into cup A. Cup B gets yellow. So 3 to 15. Let's get it up so you can see. 3 to 15 into cup B. And that guy, cup B, and that guy, cup B, and 15, and 5 of these dummies. And then white goes into cup C. 3 to 15. What I'm doing here is putting them in the cups. Other. Cup C. Alt Control C. So Alt Control C. Alt Control C. And 15. And these 5 dummies. There we are. No machine guns, no medics, no snipers. No problem. Famous last words. Alrighty. So we got that set up. We kind of know where we're going. I've got to get my characters on the board. That's going to take me a little bit, so I'm just going to pause here for a sec. And I've got my guys set up. So let's put them in spots. 22 to 24, 8 to 13. I'm going to split them up into 3 groups of 3. My idea is to keep medics on the flanks. So I'm going to have 1 medic up north, who is Amos. And he's going to be with O'Brien and Moore. So I've got an Abel, Baker, and Charlie together with a couple of decent TQs for spotting purposes. My other medic is going to be down south. That's Overbeck, my sniper, because he's buddies with Chicken Coop here. Geo and Chicken Coop are staying together. And they're in with Sheehan. So I've got another automatic weapon here, our Browning. And up north, we got our grease gun. And these guys will be on our southern flank. And our center group is going to be our automatic weapon here with Mortel, with Chair and me. So we got some decent TQ there for spotting. We're spreading out our TQs, spreading out our medics, spreading out our weapons. And I'm going to have Johnson, Sparky Johnson. We don't have a Johnson character. I should have thought ahead and picked a last name that actually is in there. We're going to use Parks, our co-driver, as being our news correspondent who's going to stay close to Mortel and out of trouble as much as possible. So 8 to 13, 22 to, what did I say, to 24. So the first I can get is 22. So I'm going to put my southern group down here. Keep our spotter in the center. And 8 is as far up as we can go. So our center group here is going to be, I will stick back behind a little bit with Mortel to spot. And we'll put chair here and keep Parks there. And then that's as far north as I can go. So I'm just going to pile up. We'll sort out as we move. There, like that. And they could be there, there, and our northern group here will be up here. That's 8, as far north as I can go. There we are. They're not going to catch us straight away. Now, let me zoom out a little bit. We're normal morale, but we're all hidden. There we are. Our hand, we get 3 cards. Smoke. Smoke. And slow to start. Well, poo. We'll probably do the slow to start and get it out of the way. We don't care about the initiative in the first turn anyway. So that'll be our initiative card. And I'm going to try to put sprints on right away and just sprint out and take up firing positions as fast as possible, because we might not be able to sprint for very long. We might be muddy. So sprint is P, movement orders. Sprint, shift P. Everybody's going to be sprinting while we can in the heavy rain, trying, like I said, to get over this ridge, and we'll try to catch them coming over that ridge or set up to get reinforcements picked off. Mostly we just want to get off the board. On the move order, on the turns, they get reinforcements. Option M. Utility markers. Let's do an enemy setup marker. No. Enemy control marker. 2. Let's change its label. 7 equals A. 8 equals B. 9 equals C. All right. Clone, 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 clone. That comes in on turns. Fall back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the game is 12 long. There's that. I'm not going to worry about putting out the compasses yet, because we're not actually going to begin this. I've blathered on long enough, giving you my long editorial to begin with, and I've just been informed our bathtub's drain is backing up, and I get to go home and snake that. Let's see, I also get some flares. I'm a D3 plus 2. 4 is 2 plus 2. Where's the D3 plus 1 flares? Where's my marker thing? Flares. D3 plus 1. 3 flares. 2 plus 1 is 3. Friendly. Flares. Not that I'm probably going to use them, but you never know. Other. 1, 2, 3. The wind is blowing straight down. I'm going to give them to my northern guys. 1, 2, 3. Put that flare under the move. I like my stacks organized. There. That's all my orders. I got my cards. I've got my setup. I've got my plan. When I come back tomorrow, I'm going to come over here and draw out of Cup A. We're going to put 10 soldiers here and give them their orders and begin this. Our visibility is 5, so it's not too likely that they're going to be able to sprint up and find me right away. I'm going to try to sprint over that ridge and get out of their LOS so I don't have to worry about that. We'll see where their reinforcements come, if anywhere. Like I said, sorry for the editorializing earlier. I'm a sentimental old fool. So I will see you guys tomorrow.